Ladies and gentlemen, each morning, as you awaken, you stand at the threshold of infinite possibility. The words you impress upon your mind are the seeds of tomorrow's reality. Speak these truths to yourself, not as mere affirmations, but as living realities. The words you speak to yourself are not idle thoughts. They are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Every belief, every assumption, and every affirmation you hold in consciousness is creating the reality you experience. The world around you is nothing more than a reflection of the thoughts you persistently entertain. When you understand that your imagination creates reality, you realize that you are never a victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of luck, fate, or external forces. Your inner conversations, the words you tell yourself each day, and the emotions you dwell in are continuously shaping the events of your life. This is the great secret hidden in plain sight. What you accept as true in your mind will be expressed in your world. Consider for a moment the nature of the subconscious mind. It does not reason, it does not judge, and it does not question. It simply receives impressions and brings them to life. If you impress upon it thoughts of limitation, fear, and lack, it will faithfully project those conditions into your experience. If, however, you consistently affirm abundance, success, and well-being, your subconscious will shape your world to reflect these beliefs. There is no mystery to it. This is an unchanging law, as certain as gravity. Every day, you must be vigilant about what you are telling yourself. Many people go through life unaware of the power of their words and thoughts. They speak casually about failure, struggle, and hardship, not realizing that they are setting these conditions into motion. But just as a gardener would never sow weeds and expect a harvest of wheat, you cannot fill your mind with negative assumptions and expect a life of joy and abundance. You must deliberately choose the thoughts that serve you, for whatever you claim in consciousness will inevitably manifest. To change your reality, you must begin with your inner dialogue. When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thought that enters your mind? Do you greet the day with enthusiasm and expectation, or do you fall into the habit of worry and doubt? The way you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If you declare with conviction, "I am the creator of my reality," you take control of your destiny from the moment you rise. This is not wishful thinking, it is a statement of truth. Your world is simply the outpicturing of your inner state. Throughout the day, observe the conversations you have with yourself. When a challenge arises, do you react with fear, or do you affirm your power? Do you speak words of confidence and assurance, or do you let old patterns of limitation take hold? The words you repeat most often become embedded in your subconscious, and your subconscious, in turn, directs the circumstances of your life. Many people believe they must first see change in the outer world before they can change their beliefs. But this is the wrong order. You must first assume the reality of your desire within, and the outer world will conform. If you desire success, you must see yourself as successful now. If you wish to experience love, you must embody love in your thoughts and feelings. The world does not create your beliefs. Your beliefs create your world. The power of imagination is infinite. What you hold in your mind with faith and feeling will solidify into reality. There is no limit to what you can create except the limits you impose upon yourself. When you claim something as true in your inner world, the external world has no choice but to reflect it. This is why it is essential to guard your self-talk, to affirm only those things you wish to experience, and to live each day with the certainty that your assumptions shape your destiny. When you tell yourself daily that you are the creator of your reality, you step into your true power. You no longer see yourself as a passive observer, but as the master of your fate. The world becomes your canvas, and your thoughts the brush with which you paint your life. Everything begins within you. The only question is, what will you choose to create? Your imagination is not just a fleeting daydream or a source of idle fantasy. It is the blueprint of your future. Every image you hold in your mind, every scene you play out in your imagination, and every thought you entertain consistently is shaping the reality you will experience. The outer world is not separate from your inner world. It is its reflection. The conditions you see around you today were first formed in the unseen realm of thought and belief. Most people move through life unaware of this power, allowing their imagination to be influenced by the circumstances they see, rather than using it deliberately to shape what they desire. They accept reality as something fixed, something outside their control, and so they remain bound by the limitations they unknowingly impose upon themselves. But the truth is far greater. The world is simply a projection of consciousness. And what you vividly imagine with faith and conviction must externalize in due time. Your subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts whatever you impress upon it and brings it into form. This is why it is crucial to be intentional with the pictures you create in your mind. If you dwell upon failure, lack, or fear, your subconscious will take those impressions and make them real. But if you consistently imagine success, abundance, and joy, your subconscious will bring these conditions into your life. There is no randomness to it. The tallest buildings, the most innovative inventions, the most inspiring works of art, all began as an image in someone's imagination before they became reality. The same principle applies to your own life. If you can see yourself living the life you desire, and if you persist in that vision with unwavering belief, it must manifest. There is no power in the universe that can prevent it except your own doubts and fears. The key to using imagination effectively is to engage with it fully, to feel the reality of your desired state as if it were already true. It is not enough to merely think about success. You must step into the feeling of already being successful. If you desire financial freedom, do not simply wish for it. Imagine yourself already in possession of wealth, feeling the security and freedom it brings. If you seek love, do not wait for it to appear. Imagine yourself already surrounded by love, feeling the warmth and connection as if it were already yours. This is the secret. The world outside must conform to the reality you accept within. Many people allow their imagination to be controlled by their current circumstances, reinforcing the very conditions they wish to change. They look at their bank account and feel lack. They see failure and expect more of it. They experience loneliness and imagine it continuing indefinitely. But if they would instead turn inward and construct a new reality in their mind, one of abundance, success, and love, their world would begin to shift accordingly. What you imagine with feeling and persistence will always override the conditions of the present moment. This is why daily mental discipline is essential. You must take time each day to consciously direct your imagination toward the life you wish to create. Picture yourself as the person you desire to be. See yourself living the life you dream of. And most importantly, feel it as though it were already true. The more vividly and frequently you do this, the more natural it will become, until it is accepted as fact by your subconscious mind. And once your subconscious accepts it, the outer world has no choice but to reflect it. Your imagination is not a passive tool. It is the most powerful force you possess. When used consciously, it becomes the gateway to unlimited potential. The only limits that exist are those you accept as real. If you can imagine it and persist in the assumption that it is already so, you will watch in amazement as your world reshapes itself to match the vision you hold within. Everything begins in imagination, and through belief it becomes reality. The present moment is the only point of power. It is in this moment that you determine what your future will be, not through wishful thinking or distant hopes, but through the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs you hold right now. Many people delay their happiness, telling themselves they will feel successful when their circumstances improve, when they have more money, when they find love, or when they achieve a particular goal. But this is an illusion. The truth is that the only time you can ever create change is in this very moment. The way you feel now, the thoughts you entertain now, the assumptions you live by now, all of these are shaping the reality that will unfold before you. The world does not operate independently of your consciousness. It is always responding, always reflecting the state of mind you occupy in the present. If you constantly push your desires into the future, saying, "One day I will have what I want," then you are affirming that your desires remain in the future, forever just out of reach. But if, in this very moment, you assume that you already possess what you seek, if you adopt the feeling of having it now, the outer world must align itself with that assumption. Reality is fluid, always taking shape according to what you are impressing upon it in the now. The mistake many people make is believing that the present moment is dictated by the past. They think that because they have struggled before, they must struggle now. Because they have experienced lack before, they must continue to do so. But the past has no power except the power you give it through your continued attention. The only thing that matters is what you are choosing to accept as true in this moment. Right now, you have the ability to step into a new state of being, to claim a new identity, to shift into the version of yourself that already possesses what you desire. The moment you do this with conviction, the world begins to move in response. What you assume in the present is what determines your future. If you feel abundant now, even before any physical evidence appears, you set forces in motion that will bring abundance into your life. If you feel loved now, regardless of your external conditions, you will soon find that love manifests in your world. If you persist in the assumption that you are successful now, even before you see tangible proof, success will be drawn to you. The key is to feel as if it were already true, to live in the end result, and to remain faithful to that assumption regardless of what your senses tell you. Many people allow their emotions to be dictated by what they see around them, reacting to circumstances rather than consciously shaping them. They see lack, so they feel poor. They see rejection, so they feel unworthy. They see failure, so they feel defeated. But this is living backward. You must not wait for the outer world to give you permission to feel the way you desire. Instead, you must take control by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled now. When you do, the outer world will have no choice but to rearrange itself to match your inner state. This is not about forcing change through effort or struggle. It is about aligning yourself with the reality you desire by embodying it now. You do not need to chase after success, love, or happiness. You simply need to assume that it is already yours, to dwell in that feeling, and to let the world conform to your assumption. When you make this a daily practice, when you train yourself to live in the reality of your desire in the present moment, you will find that life begins to unfold effortlessly in your favor. The future is not something to be waited for. It is something you create right here and now through the power of your present state of being. To assume the end is to live in the certainty that what you desire is already accomplished. It is not hoping, wishing, or waiting for something to happen. It is knowing that it has already happened in the unseen and will inevitably take form in the physical world. This is the great secret of creation. Whatever you persistently assume to be true, with feeling and conviction, must express itself in your reality. Most people approach life as if they must first struggle, strive, and prove themselves before they can attain their desires. They look at their current circumstances and allow those conditions to dictate what they believe is possible. But this is the wrong order of things. The truth is that reality conforms to your assumptions, not the other way around. You do not need to wait for visible proof before you believe in the fulfillment of your desire. Instead, you must first claim it within, knowing that your inner state will shape your outer world. The power of assumption works whether you are conscious of it or not. Every moment, you are assuming something about yourself, about life, about what is possible for you. These assumptions operate as silent commands to the subconscious mind, which then sets into motion the events, circumstances, and opportunities that align with them. If you assume success, if you assume failure, even if unconsciously, you will unknowingly act in ways that bring about failure. To consciously assume the end, you must first define clearly what it is you desire. Do not concern yourself with how it will come to pass. That is not your task. Your role is to dwell in the feeling of already having achieved it. If your desire is wealth, do not wait for money to appear before you feel abundant. Assume the end by stepping into the feeling of financial freedom now. If your desire is love, do not wait for another person to complete you. Assume the end by feeling deeply loved and cherished in this moment. When you make this state your dwelling place, the world must reflect it. One of the greatest obstacles to assuming the end is doubt. The rational mind looks at what is, rather than what can be. It questions, it analyzes, it demands evidence before belief. But the creative power of assumption requires a different approach. You must believe before you see, not see before you believe. If you allow doubt to take hold, you return to the old reality, reinforcing what already exists instead of creating what you truly desire. This is why persistence is key. You must continue to assume the fulfillment of your desire even when there is no physical evidence. In fact, the absence of evidence is often the strongest sign that change is underway. The world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting back to you the state of consciousness you occupy. If you live in the assumption that you are already the person you wish to be, the world will bend to confirm it. This is not wishful thinking. It is the law of consciousness in action. The more naturally and consistently you dwell in the feeling of your fulfilled desire, the faster it will crystallize into form. Each day, take time to immerse yourself in the reality of your wish fulfilled. Close your eyes and imagine what it would feel like if your desire were already yours. Engage all your senses. Hear the words of congratulations. Feel the emotions of joy and satisfaction. See yourself living the life you desire. The key is not to force the vision, but to surrender to it as though it were already a fact. Let go of any attachment to how it will unfold and trust that the world must rearrange itself to reflect your assumption. When you assume the end, you move through life with a quiet confidence, free from worry or desperation. You no longer seek confirmation from the outside world because you know that what you claim within must manifest. This is the way of the master creator, the one who understands that the unseen shapes the seen. That assumption creates reality, and that the only requirement for manifestation is to live as if it is already done. The reality you experience is not something that happens to you, it is something that is shaped by you. Every thought you persistently hold, every feeling you dwell in, and every assumption you accept as true is forming the world around you. The power to create lies not in external circumstances, but within your own consciousness. If you understand that your imagination is the blueprint of your future, you will no longer look at life passively. Instead, you will take control, deliberately assuming the end result of your desires as already fulfilled. You will no longer allow the present moment to be dictated by the past, but rather, you will use the now as the foundation for what is to come. By assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled and persisting in it, you will watch as reality reshapes itself to match your inner conviction. This is not a temporary practice, nor is it a technique to be used only when things are difficult. It is a way of living, a realization that you are always creating, whether consciously or unconsciously. The only question is, will you create by design or by default? If you choose to consciously direct your thoughts, to claim what you desire is already yours, and to walk in the certainty of its fulfillment, you will become the master of your destiny. Every day, remind yourself of these truths. Speak them, feel them, and embody them. You are the creator of your reality, and what you assume within will always become the world you see without. Now, go forth and live as though your desires are already realized, for in truth, they already are.